Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players. This is Antitesh Shorto, and today I'm going to be talking about this guy here. The one standing above Sabine is Tiber Saxon. The was the current acting governor of Mandalore right after Gar Saxon was killed. And so yeah, this is Tiber Saxon, his brother. Right now he's set up instead of Mandalorian armor, he's set up in the stormtrooper jumpsuit or jetpack armor. So if this is my kind of what if video, my thoughts on the character. So one of the things is I could see this. Well, I could see him being, added into the game, probably come next year when they do an Empire faction pass. Another Empire faction pass, rework some Imperial characters that need it. Like the Imperial troopers are fine, other than maybe adjusting some of some stuff towards General Veers and maybe giving a leadership to Colonel Stark. But other than that, adding this character into the game would be really a unique setup. I wouldn't know exactly what they would do with the leadership or the abilities themselves. But having a like stormtrooper looking character, I can easily see him thrown in as an Imperial trooper character, just like I could see Gar Saxon and Mandalorian Super Commando added in as an Imperial trooper, because even though they're not fully Imperial troopers, they still kind of work like Imperial troopers, in my opinion. So it never hurts to throw them in that faction. And so, these three characters would have Empire as a faction, Imperial Trooper as a faction, and then whenever they decide to add Mandalorian as a faction. So, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see this character added in, to see what they could do something different with. And actually, one of the things I thought would be kind of cool with this character being added in is if the Imperial, or the Imperial Super Commando, or the Super Commando that's currently in the game, his special ability calls an assist of both Gar and Tiber Saxon into a fight. That way, it gives an Imperial character setup a Biggs like feel, but for the dark side. So you could have it to where it's Gar, Tiber, and Super Commando, and then you have like Shore Trooper and Death Trooper. Boom. The team's going to counter. He's going to call in an assist. So yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to see these characters, this character added in. It adds in another Imperial character, maybe with an actual leadership ability. Plus he can't actually, and honestly, if they don't have Colonel Stark, a Imperial trooper leader, this guy would actually work really well, because he does have the leadership role of not just the super commandos, but he tends to work with like the jump troopers, the stormtrooper jump with jetpacks, and I think it'd be kind of cool to see that leadership reflected into that. So maybe he will have a leadership where, Imperial troopers get, maybe evasion, some speed, maybe even some accuracy, a different kind of twist on some leadership ability, and maybe some offense, and then like some little unique thing to make the leadership a Zeta, or just make this leadership a Omega, kind of like Wedge is. You just give him a few things and voila, there you go. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. But yeah, this guy, well, who was killed during the first two episodes of Star Wars Rebels season 4. Well, it was the second episode, not the first one. He wasn't in the first one, from what I understood. So yeah, I think it was kind of cool. They introduced someone new, unique. They didn't really give a backstory, and maybe they could make a book of a backstory book for the Saxons. Star Wars, the Saxons, Gar Saxon and Tiber Saxon. Maybe make it a comic, maybe make it a book, and give the reasoning to why both Gar Saxon and Tiber Saxon actually kind of partially betrayed the Mandalorians in a way just to survive the way they were thinking. They were surviving. They were joining the Empire just to not be killed, survive. But maybe it was a cowardice thing. I don't know. It'd be kind of a unique book for something like that. And maybe it would be. It wouldn't be called the Saxon. It'd be called like Clan Saxon, or well, not Clan Saxon. It'd be the family Saxon. I'm trying to still get used to the new Mandalorian setup, adding a different like family tag or whatever. But for the most part, yeah, having a book about the Saxons, like even it could talk like at the beginning, like the prologue or epilogue, whichever one it is. It could talk about the Gar Saxon working with Darth Maul, and then how Darth Maul went on his own way, and he's started to build up some forces maybe for Darth Maul, and then Maul never shows back up. The Empire shows up, and then that force, the super commandos he built up, end up working with the Empire instead. So that's something that's something I think would be kind of a cool little story arc. So we can kind of get a little more backstory of Mandalorians for the new canon. I'm still kind of, wishing they didn't change much of the Mandalorians between the Clone Wars back before Disney and then, Disney now. Disney really threw it for a twist. But at the same time, it's still been pretty good story-wise of learning different things of Mandalorians. So, but yeah, again, I know that's kind of me rambling on about different books that could be created. But, like, going back to, this guy here, I feel like having him in would give us another leader, maybe even another Imperial Trooper leader, and then maybe eventually down the road a Mandalorian leader. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Would you like to see Tiber Saxon added into the game? Would you like to, at least get us some more Imperial Troopers added into the game, and maybe the Super Commandos would be a way to, work that in? So yeah, let me know again in the comments below. Again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day.